All right. Ruthless politics. Ruthless politics. It's getting ruthless. It is ruthless out there. People are angry. People are polarized. I would say this.
People are wearing pussy outfits on the street, my man.
Yeah. I would say this. I follow politics a lot longer than everybody I know. So I think I was perfectly
Like
suited
Donald
for this.
Trump?
Like Donald Trump, exactly.
You know more than the experts.
I know more bigly.
I saw him say the other day in the interview, or we're about to talk about this, in the ABC interview, he said, I know prosecutors. I know more about prosecutors than you. And I just thought to myself, what on earth
he has
does
a
know
knack.
about prosecutors?
He has a knack for knowing more about you than any subject. I've seen him use that several times. And you know what? I do believe it. I believe he knows more about those things than everybody else.
His believers do believe it.
I do believe
that's
it.
the problem, because it's a conversation piece that he uses, but they take
He's good.
You know,
He's good.
Charles Blow says it best, that he's reached cult status. He's a folk hero now, so he can't
Oh,
do
100%.
anything, right? Yeah, if he says Kofefi, they start wearing Kofefi t-shirts.
It is. Listen, Michael Savage. I don't know if people know this. So Michael Savage is a big Trump supporter, and he's kind of jumping off the bandwagon a little bit. There was a big article about this, and he hit it on the head that his fans, to him, he can do no wrong, and he has reached a demagogue status that I don't even think. He did not plan on this. But this also comes from the fact that people hate the politicians so much, and they hate these Republicans. And if anybody thinks that these people are going to get behind the next Republican like they did Trump, they're sorely fucking mistaken. Whether it's Mike Pence, the only person that's got a shot, and he still won't do that, is Don Jr. There is not another Republican on the horizon right now that people will come out for like Donald Trump.
Don
fucking
Jr. doesn't
period.
have the chops.
No, he probably doesn't.
He doesn't.
It's the only shot, though.
He's maybe the only shot, or maybe an Ivanka. If you notice in the ABC interview,
She'll be a
Ivanka
Democrat.
came in for a meeting that was totally staged, and then she dropped, because we always thought Ivanka was a Democrat, or she played a Democrat.
Seems
before,
like
when
it,
it was
right?
cool for her.
Right.
But now she says it seems like she's Republican, because she sat in there and she goes, "We believe education needs to be done by the private sector," or something. It was such a Republican thing to say. You could tell it was perfectly timed for the ABC interview, that she had this little meeting and said this Republican little thing, because she's trying to plan for her future race. But I'll tell you what, this is what I want to say about
She's
this.
not half wrong. The
Trump
public school system
has
sucks.
that status because before, see, the internet is a scarlet letter, and anybody that's been attacked on the internet, like all of us have, because you have some kind of public persona, what happens is all of that stuff comes raining down on you, and most of us just say, well, that's just life. People are going to have these views, they're going to say these things about me, and that's it. You just move on with your life. But Trump, and with the power of the Russians behind him, has actually tried to control the narrative on this national stage, which is nearly impossible to do, but yet they've been effective doing it. And so Trump has reached this status through bots and trolls and endless technology and polling and data and all of this that went in to build this total buffoon into this huge entity, you know. And I don't know that you'll ever have another character that candidate that has that kind of technology behind him, where it's like multiple countries are pushing him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you do believe that, that is definitely a theory if you believe the Russia thing. But I will say this: he definitely, and Obama did this as well before him, but Trump did it better. He definitely captured the internet and social media in a way that nobody could do. The Trump memes are good, man. The fucking Trump memes, I'm talking like the wrestling one that made the news and 300 whatever, and there are no Democrat memes that even sniff it, because for some reason that base doesn't do it. They don't do social media well, not as far as for their candidate, and he captured that. It helped them win. It really did.
Well, you have to remember that the Democrats, man, you know, it's a little bit of a different party. So, one, we're mixed in with a lot of minorities, and you have a lot of educated people in there, a lot of college graduates, stuff. They're less likely to dive into the trenches. They're less likely to be available to even make memes. And so Trump and his guys will do that, and they will say the things that nobody else will say, and it pushes the Democrats back, and it pushes the front lines of the information war online back to the Democrats' lap. Well, and it pushes them back a little bit because the Trumpies will say anything and do anything.
Well, the further proof of that's true stands in two things. Number one, that Fox News routinely beats those other networks, because Republicans, like you said, they will go the distance typically for their political thing. Now, Democrats are more like this than ever before. I'll give them that, because they used to be very laissez-faire. Laissez-faire. I got lesbians on my mind. But at the end of the day, that's why Fox was always rated higher, because those people watch news. There weren't enough Democrats that watch news.
You have to understand that Fox is Robert Murdoch's, you know,
Rupert.
It's his, Robert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch's. It's like his coup d'etat. It's like his swan song. It is his ultimate creation. And he doesn't even support Trump on a lot of stuff. He actually disagrees with Trump on a lot of stuff. But what ends up happening is he bought football. So all the male watchers, all the white male watchers after football went right into Fox News. He put a bunch of hot blondes on Fox News. He made the set like it was a goddamn carnival.
Yes.
And so in doing all of that, he really did take over the news, and it was genius. And then he serves up to the corporations whatever they want on the air. So he basically has endless money to do it with.
Well, that's in a way that's what Jeff Zucker's doing with CNN now. He carried this Russia thing. He openly said this is about fucking ratings, man. People want to hear about it. They love the Russia talk. and it's helped CNN at least to whatever
Well,
point that
Mueller
they're
in
at.
his report did say that the Russians had a concerted effort to help get Trump elected. I mean, that's a fact. That happened.
I believe that
Putin loves him some Trump, and Trump loves him some Putin.
it's Pootie Pie. I don't know if you know that George Bush gave him that nickname, Pootie Pie, and I don't think Putin likes it at all. But when they were doing their thing, we're talking about Trump. Let's hit on two things. We have this wonderful interview with George Stephanopoulos from ABC News, and I guess it was, what did they call it, 30 hours, and it was this very long, almost like an expose, and they broke it up into...
I have so many notes on this interview.
Tell me, I mean...
Where can I start with this? Where do you even want me to start? Okay, so let's start here.
Dive in.
How about...
it was very
Trump
odd.
claims multiple times throughout the interview, no collusion, no obstruction, not what the Mueller report says. And then, you know what else? Another thing that stuck out to me a lot.
Kind of does, in a way. I mean, he's
they didn't press charges. So
there's nothing, right. That's what he's doing, though, right? Like, if you left the courtroom and not in handcuffs, you won, right?
Yes, that's true. But there's also like 14 cases that got farmed out that'll probably come hit him the minute he steps out of office, right?
That's another story.
There's the whole thing.
There is worry.
And then people say that there's FBI investigations still opened up. So it seems like Mueller actually kind of opened up all these state investigations, let the FBI run.
Yeah, you're a big proponent of this.
Yeah, when Trump leaves office, I'm a firm believer that the handcuffs come real quick.
I, as a huge Trump fan, am very nervous.
It seems like Mueller protected the office.
I'm nervous about them not letting go after he wins re-election, and he will win re-election, by the way, and we know that he really is going to win. And by the way, folks, the reason why he's going to win is because we always elect people for 2 terms. Go look back. There's not a lot of one-termers.
But George Bush Sr. was beat.
But you're right. He was a garbage candidate, and we had an Iraq war. But this is different. Big economy, and this guy, like we said, this guy's reached zealot status. And Bush the father was a punk.
Trump has hurt a lot of his base, though. He's taken a lot out of his base, so it'll be interesting. And that's why Biden is such an interesting run against him, because he takes over some of those Rust Belt states. There's a lot of crossover with Trump and Biden. It gets interesting.
Well,
what about this, though, real quick?
But Biden may be too green. He's going to wind up screwing himself with those people. He's got a big problem with himself, a slippery slope of how green am I going to get, because those Rust Belt states, they ain't green.
No,
he's got a little problem there.
He does have a little problem there.
Yeah.
What about this, though? This was 2 interesting things about Trump's lifestyle. One, Trump definitely enjoys the grind. I mean, this guy's a worker. Like, they did a lot of things in the beginning, like, he stays in his room. He sleeps. Well, a lot of rich people might sleep in the morning or whatever, but he might also be up working till 4. And it seems like from that 30-hour video that the motherfucker's busy. That's all I'm saying. He is working. And then the other thing that I thought was fascinating on his lifestyle, he skips breakfast and eats lunch and dinner. That's an unusual diet.
Right.
But I was thinking that more Americans should just eat 2 meals a day.
Well,
because 3
you're
is too
right,
much.
you're wrong. Well, most people, that's an obesity thing. That's a heavy person thing. They skip breakfast because they sleep in, because they play video games all night. And the worst 2 meals you can eat in the day are lunch and dinner.
Those are the worst, yeah.
So it does. Listen, Donald Trump used to be thinner, folks. I mean, you can look at the picture. So he's gradually put on weight, and, with what he's doing, his regimen. Let me say this. I don't remember who said this, but there was a Secret Service agent that made a comment about his work ethic. And he said that Barack Obama, his schedule was 10 to 6 when he would come to the White House, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I swear to God, the guy said, like or hate Trump, this guy's schedule is from 6 to 10. He comes in at 6 a.m. and he leaves at 10 p.m. He's obsessed with the job. He's obsessed with the media. One of the things when he locks himself in, he watches all the things they say about him. Doesn't it make sense to you people why he's on Twitter so much? Because he's obsessed with trust me, he's checking the tweets about him. Yeah, he's checking them, at least from famous people.
When you're in a fight, or when you're in an internet fight, or even a fight with your girlfriend, it can be all-consuming. And Trump seems to just, literally, that's his life. He lives in that all-consuming fight, so he does work that much. He is that stressed. Now, I would argue that Obama coming in 10 to 6 is almost a good thing. Like, I'm an overworker sometimes, and when I can get myself onto a routine schedule, I think I do perform a little better. But presidency, there's so much to do, you could go either way on this one. But the idea that Trump doesn't work or isn't doing anything, that's complete bullshit. The guy is busy.
I think that's a little pejorative that's been thrown on him. That's a little overboard. So talk more about the interview. You had some other notes.
I noticed some other things. Trump's historical sense of just like the White House in the presidency and just other things are kind of rocky. And he seems to focus a lot on like visual things, like these drapes, this desk, this is the painting.
Because it's more simple.
Air Force One.
It's more simple.
He's just really... I don't think he was in branding his whole life. I think he landed in branding.
Right.
I think branding is the perfect job for him. He should have never run for president. The man is a brander. He's a brander up and down. That's what he does best. And in branding, you can say whatever you want, whenever you want. And that's really his true strong suit. He's a master brander.
Yes, before this presidency, he had etched himself into the Smithsonian. That name would be remembered forever. Whether you liked or hated him pre-presidency, pre-politics, his name is a name everyone will remember. All the rappers put him in their lyrics. Every celebrity wanted to be around this guy. We were Googling pictures. A funny thing. We were Googling pictures of Donald Trump with O.J. Simpson, with Michael Jackson. This guy, Hulk Hogan. This Andre the Giant, whatever. This guy was with everybody. Everyone wanted to be around this guy. And I think partially because he likes to fuck a lot. And there's always women around with this guy. There's always going to be chicks around. He's not exactly loyal. God bless Melania, because I would put $1 million this guy's sleeping with somebody else. Stormy Daniels was a thing, folks.
Well,
I mean,
there was
it was a thing.
that he was sleeping with the girl from Alaska. What's her name? She's pretty. She's
Hope Hicks. Hope Hicks?
Not Hope Hicks. No. That's his, I forget her name. She was going to be a presidential candidate for a while. I'll have to think about that.
Yes.
Palin.
Which one?
Palin.
No, but
No.
Palin's along that line too. There's a new
That
one.
would be pretty hot, though.
They put her in charge of the UN.
What was her name?
I forget her name.
Yeah.
But that was rumored that Trump and her
Someone
were
will
having
tell
an
us.
affair.
Yes, I remember hearing about
Here's
that.
an interesting thing about Trump too, which we talked about the other day a little bit briefly, is that he always wanted to be famous. He was his own promoter. He would reach out to news, try to get them to cover him. He would buy full-page ads about himself. He would do whatever he could to become famous.